we don't use it. I call it liquid gold, what we could do with that. We don't have to do this to Social Security. We don't have to do it to Medicare. But when a guy wants to cut Medicare, that's DeSantis, wanted to cut it. Officially, as a congressman, wanted to cut it. And when he wants to cut Social Security, you can bet. Now, I don't know what he's saying about it now, but he's probably said, we will defend. You can bet he'll be doing it later, and he'll be doing it to you. It always happens. I mean, I've seen it almost 100% of the time. It's what their original thought is. I will always protect Medicare and Social Security just like I have for our great seniors. Nobody's ever heard me say, and I ran, in some pretty good races, and nobody has me saying I'm voting against Medicare and Social Security to stop the Marxist prosecutors who release rapists and murderers while persecuting conservatives and people of religion. Catholics, how about Catholics? How would a Catholic ever vote for Joe Biden when there's actually an assault on Catholics? I mean, I don't know how many Catholics are. Who's a Catholic in this room? How would anybody as a Catholic, because specifically Catholics are targeted by the FBI and the DOJ, and then you're supposed to vote for Joe Biden? It doesn't make sense. I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical district attorney and an AG and a DA, okay? Attorney generals all over the country. They're crooked as hell. A lot of them are really bad. They said one in New York with me, I will get Donald. This one in New York campaigned against me. I will get Donald Trump. Do you know anything about him? No, I don't, but I will get him. It's an incredible phenomenon that's taking place. I will immediately terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration. It's all open borders, open borders. Let them come in. Under Biden, other countries are emptying out their prisons, insane asylums, mental institutions, dumping everyone, including mass numbers of terrorists, into our country. They're in our country now. And they have no shame. They just let it happen. And I think the real number of people coming in, you hear 3 and 4 and 5 million. I think it's 15 million by the end of this year. I think it's going to be 15. You watch, I'll be right about that too. People are pouring in, and nobody's even watching. And they are coming in from mental institutions. And a story I tell just quickly is that a psychiatrist, very highly respected guy, he was sitting reading a newspaper in a psych ward in a Latin American country. And he said, I've always worked 24 hours a day. I'm the hardest worker, but we have no patients left. They've all been put into the United States. And he wasn't saying it as a wise guy. He's just saying, we don't have any patients. Our patients have already, they've been let. And some of these people, he said, are very, very sick. These people have been taken out of the institution and he's saying, I have first time in my life, I have a lot of time because we don't have patients. They've all been removed to the United States of America. How stupid is this? And it's forget about good politics. It has to be the worst politics, but how can we do that? How can we let this happen? And no country can afford this. And you're seeing the signs of it already. And you look at some of these areas and some of the crime areas, and some of these people are staying in luxury hotels paid for by cities, luxury hotels, and yet our great veterans are sleeping on the streets with no benefits. Okay, so explain this. These people are being treated, they're given cell phones and they're given treatment. People are greeting them off the bus. You ever watch the guys? Hello, welcome, welcome. And you have friends, I'm sure you do, I do. They say, is there anything you can do to help me? I've been working 12 years to become a citizen, and they're taking tests and everything else. And every once in a while, I'll say, listen, I have an idea. Walk over to the southern border and just come right in. You're working 12 years. You can do it in one day. It's terrible. No, it's a terrible thing. And you have people that take it very seriously, and they work very hard, and they come in legally. And we want to have people come in, but they have to come in legally. Following the Eisenhower model, Eisenhower was very tough on immigration. We'll use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation of criminals